Atmosphere is something so important if you want a player to be immersed in your game, and little things like noises and soundtracks can help set up that atmosphere. Whether it's a victory song or a boss theme, every little detail can help set the tone of the game. And so for this video, I want to talk about ambiences, and not just ambiences in general, but ones that help set the tone of loneliness. Cause in my opinion, I feel like games that display more darker emotions are a bit more memorable compared to highly rewarding games, and they can sometimes leave a long-lasting impression on you. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about 3 games that are great examples of these lonely atmospheres, and the soundtracks and ambiences that go with it. Starting with Silent Hill. Silent Hill is a psychological horror, and I feel like it's a great example of a game that leaves a long-lasting impression on you. In horror, you have music that screams or gets more intense when there is suspense. But with Silent Hill, you're followed with ambience that totally makes you feel uneasy and isolated, which I think perfectly complements the setting of the game. I mean, even just standing still, you can't help but feel super weird inside. And when there are no background songs in the game, you're left with nothing but the sound of your own footsteps, clearly indicating that you're all alone. At the moment at least. With Silent Hill's unpredictability, it leaves you at your tippy toes at all times. It's like you prepare for something to jump out at you, but it doesn't, and that's what makes it uneasy. Whether or not you're at an empty apartment or a city surrounded by fog, with the eerie music playing, these settings can honestly make you feel a bit scared. The whole atmosphere is what makes this game so distinguishable compared to games in the horror genre. And I may or may not have gotten some things wrong with the series, but overall my main point is that the sound design is perfect. And even though the music is suited for a horror game, many people actually find this ambience kind of relaxing, and some even use it for introspection. And that's how you know Silent Hill did a great job setting its atmosphere, with its ambience and sending a message. I don't want to go on too long talking about Silent Hill, mainly because I haven't played too much of it yet. So let's talk about a Nintendo game that also has ambiences, displaying loneliness. Metroid Prime was the only 3D first-person adventure in its series at the time. And with this, we were able to play through the eyes of Samus. The world design and having the visor in your face did help make the game more immersive, but the music is what helped create another lonely atmosphere. I mean, even with the title screen, you get a taste of what the atmosphere is like. And seeing Samus and her armor, I thought I would be playing a game where I would feel totally unstoppable. But Metroid was actually kinda scary. And I think the reason why is because of its atmosphere being a bit isolating. Being a kid who used to be scared of the GameCube startup screen alone, you best believe I didn't play this game in the dark, come on. The whole vibe of Metroid Prime is exploration of an alien world and not even knowing what'll happen next. Like when a space pirate might pop out at you. And even at the beginning of the game, you're missing most of your abilities, making you vulnerable.
What is that?
You don't really have anyone by your side in Metroid Prime. With exploration, who knows what you might encounter next with each region. But other than the feelings of dread, there are moments where the settings of different regions just look so beautiful. And the ambience perfectly gives off a vibe of discovery, while yet giving off a dreadful feeling at times, giving the Metroid series its identity with its atmosphere. Speaking of identity, I can bet that 8 out of 10 people already know what song is being played and what game it belongs to, with just the first few notes playing. Other Halo games have somewhat of a triumphant soundtrack symbolizing the Master Chief, but in the game where you're not him, it's given a somber tone. This game is given a film noir aesthetic where you are nothing like the Master Chief, but instead playing a character named the Rookie. And having a setting where you're mostly exploring an empty city with flickering lights and enemies roaming is kind of a bit depressing. And with this non-linear city, you're left with sounds such as thunderstorms or fires from burning cars. And roaming around with just the ambience playing just perfectly sets up the atmosphere well. Even when you're playing on co-op, you still get that feeling of isolation. And being the first sort of melancholic Halo, it really does stick out to the player with its dark tones. After playing, you now know what it's like to not be the Master Chief, an absolute super soldier. Your perception of the Covenant and the Brutes are completely different. They're a lot scarier, and that's how you set the tone with just one mission. It's truly remarkable, and its ambience and atmosphere makes it perfect to play or listen to when it's rainy or dark outside. I think the reason why these games can leave a long-lasting impression on us is the fact that it can make us realize that we can be both vulnerable in both real life and in fiction. And having an immersive atmosphere can make it easier for the player to put themselves in the game and feel the emotions that it's trying to portray. Let me know what games you think also have this kind of atmosphere. Thank you for watching. So in my last video, I asked which game should I play between Yakuza and the game I can't pronounce. But since they were both really close, I'm going to be playing Yakuza 0 first, then the game I can't pronounce, and then back to finishing the Yakuza series. So yeah, I'm probably going to put more info on my channel. Thanks again for watching.